Hi, my name's Lou Kuenzler, and I've come to read to you from my Aesop's awesome rhyme book, The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Old Aesop was an ancient Greek. His awesome fables are unique. Each fun tale gives good advice, reminding us we should be nice. Be kind to everyone you know, and always give new things a go. Take care with sums, and learn to spell, and wash each day, or else you'll smell. Please listen to these things I say, unless your head is stuffed with hay. This awesome fable will supply a grisly warning not to lie. Atop a hill, a lonely lad was tending sheep to help his dad. He longed for fun and things to do, instead of watching lambs and ewes. "I hate this job, sheep make me sick," cried out our shepherd, little Nick. "This beastly, boring, woolly flock is not what I would call livestock. There's nothing here for me to do, just watching sheep chew grass and poo." To pass the time, Nick picked his nose and wiped it on his shepherd clothes. He flicked green bogies in the air and wondered who might live up there. He wished that aliens would appear. Then he could have some fun down here. "For a thrill and for a laugh, climb aboard our green spacecraft. We'll fly to Mars and round the moon. We'll still be back by afternoon." The aliens might steal the sheep to make a cosy place to sleep. As soon as they were tucked in tight, they'd disappear in blazing light. But who'd believe Nick round the town if screaming he came running down? "Aliens have pinched my sheep! They wanted somewhere warm to sleep!" In order to convince the folk his tale was not a silly joke, he'd need his story to sound true. Weird aliens just wouldn't do. Perhaps I'll say I've seen a bear, and that would give them all a scare. But bears round here aren't very big. They live on honey, grapes and figs. He'd cause no outcry if he said he'd seen a lovely cuddly Ted. A wolf would be the perfect beast. I'll say one came along to feast on tender, stolen, fresh spring lamb. At last Nick felt he'd made a plan. Suddenly he saw it all. He'd stand up here alone and call, "Come quick, come friends, come mum, come dad. I've seen a wolf, he's big and bad." From every house in town they'd come, and poor bored Nick could have some fun. So that is just what young Nick did. And when he'd called, he ran and hid. He crouched behind a rock and shivered, as if a wolf had made him quiver. Down in the town, they heard Nick's call. They heard him shout. They heard him bawl. A cry of "Wolf!" is serious stuff. So Nick's loud yell was quite enough to stop the dentist with his drill. Above a tooth he was to fill. He snatched his pliers, shouting, "Scum! I'll pull Wolf's teeth right out his gums!" The teacher, writing out the board, cried, "Come, class, quick!" and grabbed a sword. In fact, it was a harmless toy, brought into school by some small boy. The children followed in a flash. "It's much more fun than double maths." "Hurry, please," begged Nick's old dad. "My boy cried wolf, it must be bad." The townfolk all ran up the hill, armed and ready for the kill. Mum spotted Nick behind his rock. "My poor wee lad, you've had a shock." She waved her pointy high-heeled shoe. She yelled, "Where's Wolf? I'll run him through." "Yes, tell us, Nick," cried all the town. "We'll find that wolf and hunt him down." But Nick just laughed. He winked at Mum. "I've tricked you lot. It's only fun. There wasn't any wolf at all. I just got bored, so thought I'd call." "Pardon, boy, did you say bored?" asked the teacher with the sword. "Because of such a silly jest, my class missed their times tables test." The kids were taken back to school. The grown-ups said Nick was a fool. "Your bad behaviour makes us sick. Why did you play this stupid trick?" Nick tried to blush and show some shame, but really, he was glad they came. At least I wasn't bored, he thought. Their turning up has caused some sport. And so it was. The very next week, again Nick climbed the highest peak. Feeling dull and slightly low, he thought he'd risk another go. "I'll fake I've seen a wolf again, and watch them all run up the glen." A second time, Nick played his trick. He hollered, "Wolf! Please run! Come quick!" The townfolk heard his desperate cry. This cannot be another lie. He's learnt his lesson, we are sure. He'd never trick us any more. Thanks for that, said Mum and Dad. We're really glad you trust our lad. Nick knows by now it's very wrong to say a wolf has come along, or cry out danger when there's none. He wouldn't do that just for fun. So once again, the town folk hurried. If there's a wolf, we should be worried. A troop of scouts brought hooks and ropes to tie the wolf until he choked. With knitting needles and sharp pins, Nick's granny came to poke Wolf's shins. 6 fine Greek chefs soon followed after. We'll bake a yummy wolf moussaka. They all ran up the hill at speed. Granny often took the lead, although you shouldn't make old folk run up a mountain for a joke. Nick saw them down below like ants and thought he might just wet his pants. I know it isn't specially nice to laugh because I've tricked them twice. The sheep are safe inside their pen. The wolf was just made up again. As the townfolk topped the hill, they saw the sheep were calm and still. The gently chewing, happy ewes meant Nick's wolf cry could not be true. If any wolf would come near here, the sheep would run about in fear. In any danger, sheep will bleat. It's clear the boy's a rotten cheat. Granny took her sharpest pin and chased the lad to stick it in. She said, I'll poke you in the ribs to punish you for telling fibs. Perhaps a little prick of pain will stop you telling lies again. Mum also quickly turned on Nick. She said, my son, you make me sick. Nick's poor dad agreed in shame. It's always parents people blame. They'll say it was your mum and I who taught you how to tell a lie. They'll say that underneath our roof we place no value on the truth. Nick saw at last that he was wrong. I know I've led the townfolk on. I'm truly sorry, Mum and Dad. I promise I'll stop being bad. And yet, within a single week, Nick once again was heard to shriek, please come, believe me when I say, I've seen a wolf, he's big and grey. In town they barely stopped a second. Another lie, the dentist reckoned. Teacher carried on with school. That boy must take me for a fool. I'll not go charging up the hill because he's bored and wants a thrill. And Mum and Dad had to agree. They would at law nigh number 3. The trouble was that Nick was right. This time there was a wolf in sight. A terrible, hungry, prowling beast, sniffing out a midday feast. The wolf with hollow, empty tummy thought Nick looked super, extra yummy. You claim you've seen me twice before. Now I will eat you fresh and raw. Oh, please, dear wolf, Nick begged the creature, eat the sheep. They'll be much sweeter. But Wolf said he could not eat lamb, or chicken, bacon, beef or ham, not even if you boil or fry it. I'm on a human-only diet. Wolf leapt up high and pinned Nick down, while Nick called desperately to town, this is the truth, oh please come mummy, I'm sure to end up in Wolf's tummy. But all the town ignored him still, though Nick cried, Wolf! from up the hill. The wolf ate Nick with one big crunch. He wolfed him down. A quick wolf lunch. Pardon, sheep, I shouldn't slurp, said Wolf with an enormous burp. It's just that Nick was really yummy. He's sort of fizzing in my tummy. Untruthful boys are extra nice. They always taste a bit of spice. And that's the end of Aesop's story. It's one that's really rather gory. Nick told his fibs and had his fun, but ended up inside Wolf's tum. The moral here is clear and wise. Don't trick your friends with rotten lies. If you don't want to come a cropper, be careful not to tell a whopper. Do as Aesop warns you to, and only say things which are true. If not, be careful. Wait and see. A wolf might eat you up for tea.